My name is Bob Morano. I am a current customer of Indoor Organic Gardens of Poughkeepsie and have been for quite a while, since the early stages of the company. I am a professional chef. I am a Culinary Institute of America graduate, and 2005. So I have that many years since then of professional cooking experience and professional food industry experience. I also have taken myself through kind of a food relationship journey of my own in losing over 140 pounds in the space of, it took me a good about 4 years. So it has really become a real passion of mine, a real interest of mine. And I kind of got over that time, and still continuing use myself as the guinea pig of both dietary and being active and kind of what works for me. And it's what brought me to Indoor Organic Gardens of Poughkeepsie. My 5-year-old son is on the autism spectrum. When he was diagnosed, I want to say he was maybe just about 2 years old, a little bit younger than 2 years old. He was diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. One of the services that can be provided, if you would like, is that you can actually work with a child nutritionist, dietitian and nutritionist. And so we got to meet with a nutritionist, and she had heard of that company and kind of pointed us towards that direction. So I still remember the first phone call that I had with Carol. I called and she answered the phone. I told her how we heard about it and how we heard about the products. And she kind of guided me in that direction. And then I kind of formed that relationship with the company that I have now, in being a longtime customer of the company and a longtime user of the product. In addition, about 2 years ago, my wife, we went through a breast cancer diagnosis with my wife. So we went through the diagnosis. She had, let's see, I have it written down here, ER positive breast cancer. As soon as we got that diagnosis, she started taking the powder herself. So now my son and my wife, who are both still taking the powder every single day. My wife credits the powder. And again, these are kind of her experiences and everyone's experience with chemotherapy, and anyone who has been through it knows that it's a very individualized journey. But she credits the broccoli sprout powder with most specifically is helping her with chemotherapy side effects. We use diet, we use nutrition, we use the broccoli sprout powder, in addition to obviously chemotherapy and the guidance of the physicians that we were assigned to work with. And it's become a part of our daily nutrition. You take your multivitamin, you take the powder, and that's just kind of how it goes. My wife actually she wanted me to specify in this that during her chemotherapy, both with her physicians and things like that, we found out that she actually dialed her dose of the powder down just a hair, because the antioxidants in the powder are so high that if you put yourself on a high enough dose of the broccoli sprout powder, the antioxidants in the powder will actually fight the chemotherapy drugs. So we were able to find a dosage where we dialed that down with her blood work and things like that, so that she was at a healthy level to allow the chemotherapy drugs to do what they were going to do, but then also to allow the powder to work with that whole ecosystem in her body, to still provide all the benefits that the powder was giving her through that. Being a professional chef and putting myself through my own weight loss and nutrition journey, I had to completely repair my relationship with food. And it's something that I work on every single day, and it has become a big passion in my life. It's become a major part of my life, because I know kind of where I came from. I know what put me in the position that I was in, of being as overweight as I was. And I know what has helped me get down, to lose that 140 pounds and get down to the weight that I'm at now. I mentioned Dr. Rhonda Patrick. I had been listening to her for a little while, and I think by chance that she was full in on sulforaphane at the time. Sulforaphane and how the body produces sulforaphane, and foods that contains, I guess it would be higher amounts of, let's see how we're done. Oh, glucoraphanin, which is the, ideally you want to take in foods and vegetables that have higher amounts of glucoraphanin, and the process of your body consuming the glucoraphanin, digesting it, chewing it, things like that, is what produces the sulforaphane. So at the time she was heavily into sulforaphane. So by kind of trade and researching these studies and listening to her, she gave me this education on this sulforaphane. In addition, we had just gotten this diagnosis for my son in the autism spectrum, and there were things that were coming up in studies, in other research, that were pointing at sulforaphane and kind of I mean, and Brood knows too. Anyone who personally knows special needs children, whether it be autism or Down, whatever the case may be, you use these terms very loosely, because you hear terms in the industry being thrown around as like autism cures and behavioral cures and things like that, and that's really not what it is. But we noticed a direct, immediate kind of leveling of his behaviors in a more consistent, predictable basis as far as his behaviors. His attention span, we noticed a massive increase on his attention span almost immediately. I mean, he was only around 2 years old when he started taking it. He's now 5. He still takes a full dose daily. He does a lot of hard work. He is doing all of the hard work, when he's at school and things like that. But we really use that broccoli sprout powder as a tool to help him to be able to build these skills, to build these skill sets. So it's been a real help on that front. One of the things that with my wife especially also that brought us again into the sulforaphane was that there's been studies that have come up that show that sulforaphane induces your body's natural liver detoxifying. So your body has enzymes that it uses to naturally detoxify your liver. So sulforaphane, it's fascinating because it's not that the sulforaphane does not go in and detoxify your liver. The sulforaphane goes in, and again, a quality that it does that you hear again and again, that it we talk about it all the time, how it will reduce inflammation and kind of allow the human body to do what it wants to do what it desires to do. The reason for the broccoli sprout powder is broccoli has the highest levels of glucoraphanin and contains the highest potential for your body to produce the most sulforaphane in your diet, if that is a target that so it provides a direct path to get those immediate results that that people come and seek the brand that has become this broccoli sprout powder to seek it out for specific uses. With my wife, obviously, and all the different procedures and drugs and chemotherapy and everything else that they had on her, they had her on, they're life-saving drugs and life-saving treatments, but they also wreak havoc on the human body and the human system. So to be able to have a tool like the broccoli sprout powder to go along with the modern medicine that we have was just, for us, it was just a great recipe for success in what we have had now. And now, she has 0 signs of disease any longer. They told us after many surgeries and procedures and things like that they've gotten all the cancer out. And again, it's something that you live with every single day. But she stays on the broccoli sprout powder. She continues to use the broccoli sprout powder. Like I said, my son has been on it for most of his life now. And it's not something that we would ever take out of our day, take out of our how we kind of run our lives now, with the smart use of supplements. And again, you can use, I'm using the terminology supplement, not as in a multivitamin, but supplement as in to plug in nutrients where your diet is lacking. Because even the supplements we use, like the broccoli sprout powder, there's another mushroom powder that my wife uses, but they're all food. So we're using the term to supplement, literally meaning to kind of fill in like a safety blanket of your daily diet.